So, good day guys. Today I'm gonna report about my assigned topic of Enhancement Course 2, which is my assigned topic is Simple and Compound Interest. So, please enjoy watching and hope you get something. Let's start.
Yeah.
Simple interest. So, simple interest is when money is borrowed, interest is charged for the use of that money for a certain period of time. The amount to interest depends on the interest rate, the amount of money borrowed, and the period of time that the money is borrowed. So, ang simple interest kay kanang kung pila imong kuan sa buta sa imong gihulugan pila inyong interest is more of yun yung makuha. Or simple interest is interest calculated on the principal portion of a loan or the original contribution to a savings account. Kaning simple interest does not di na siya compound, meaning an account holder will only gain interest on the principal. So kaning kuan di kung di ni sa compound nga ang compound kay kung ang imong interest makagain pag interest ni siya, ang imo ra yung principal mo makagain og principal amount mo ray makagain og interest. So important facts na yung makuha. So principal, the money you borrowed is known as sum borrowed or principal. Then interest, the sum extra money paid by the borrower is called as interest paid on principal. Then amount, the sum of principal and the interest paid by the borrower is called as amount. So now is the formula. So this is the formula of simple interest. So P is principal, which is ang formula is I equals to P times R times T. Then P na to is principal, then R is rate of interest in percentage, then T is duration of time, then I is interest. Then ang kaning napoy kuan sa mga amount ang amount na to is A equals to P plus 1, which is kani siyang principal times I plus interest kung pila na gyud ang imong makuha. So example number 1. Find the simple interest for $500 invested at 6.25% for 3 years. So, ang formula nato is I equals to PRT or P times R times T, which is ang P na to is 500 at ang principal amount times 0.0625 kay 6.25% man dayon times 3 kay 3 years atong time. So ang atong I now is equals to $93.75. So i-add na to ang katong amount na to katong A equals to P plus I. So 500 plus I na to 93.75. So ang imong makuan nga kwarta makuha is 593.75. Example number 2. Find the total amount of money in an account where $95 is invested at 7.5% for 8 months. So ang PRT na to is I equals to PRT, I is equals to $95 atong principal times 0.075 kay 7.5% man times 2/3 kay 8 months man kuha nato ni nga kuan gifraction. So ang I na to is equals to 4.75 $75. So ang total na to ang katong A na to is equals to 95 plus 4.75 equals to $99.75 na ang atong makuha sa atong kwarta. Compound interest. So, what is a compound interest? Compound interest is the addition of interest to the principal sum of a loan or deposit, or in other words, interest on interest. It is the result of reinvesting interest rather than paying it out. So that interest in the next period is then earned on the principal sum plus previously accumulated interest. So, how it works? So, simple interest is interest on the principal amount. Kani siya interest yun sa unsa imong gihatag sa bangko, ang simple interest. While compound interest is when your principal and any earned interest both earned interest. So, kanang palitan ron mo hatag ka sa bangko, yun ay interest niya wa nimo gi cash out. So imo gyapon gi kuan dito, gi-deposit gyapon nimo sa bangko. So katay mong interest is mo earn na pud og laing interest niya magkadako ang imuhang kwarta. So here is the formula on calculate compound interest using this formula. So ang formula is A is equals to P times 1 plus R over N to the power of N times T. So, ang A is total amount, ang P is principal, R is interest rate, N is number of compounding periods, then T is time in years. So, why does compound interest matter? So, compound interest is interest earned on money that was previously earned as interest. Then, compound interest causes interest and account balance to grow. So, katong kuan gani katong presa kung gisulti nga ang imong interest kung ang imo pa yung butang sa bangko, which mo grow pa gyud to siya kung mo invest na ka katong imong interest mo grow na pud to nya mo kuha na pud og interest. Then, good for savings and investments but can work against you in paying interest on a loan. No, kana nya. Frequency, time, interest rate, deposit, and the starting amount all make compound interest powerful. So, mo na ang nganong compound interest matter. So, example number 1. So, a $100 is invested at 10% interest compounded yearly for 6 years. So, formula na to, mo to A is equals to P times 1 plus R over N times times T to the power of N times T. So, A or ang total amount is equals to 100, which is ang P na to is 100 ang principal niya times 1 plus 0.10 kay 10% interest man nato, interest rate na to 10% man, so 0.10 over 1 kay atong number of compounding periods is yearly, so 1. So 1 to the power of 1 times 6 kay 6 years man nato ang time in years. So A is equals to 100 times 1.10 to the power of 6. So, ang atong total amount now is equals to 177.16 sa atong gi-invest nga $10 for compounded yearly for 6 years sa 10% interest rate. So, another example is $250 invested at 6.5% for 8 years compounded monthly. So mao to ang formula. Then atong ang principal amount is 250 times 1 plus 0.065 kay 6.5% man over 12 kay gi-monthly man nato. Monthly na to, so pila ang monthly, ang pila ka months ang a year is 12 months, so 12 yeah. To the power of 12 times 8 kay 8 years. So now A is equals to 250 times 1.0054 to the power of 96. Then ang atong total amount now is 419.92. Sa itong $250 nga gi-invest na to at 6.5% interest rate na 8 years compounded monthly.
So, thank you guys. Hope you've learned something, and please don't forget to subscribe. And that's for all today's video, and please like and subscribe my YouTube channel. Thank you. Goodbye.